because as leaders, right, you're the boss in a lot of ways because you are super smart and because you do have the experience and the wisdom. And so how does a leader, what would be a little advice to build the muscle of being a better listener?
Right, well, so in meetings with the employees, I go out of my way to not speak as much. Often I'll know the answer, but I don't say it. I used to, I think, feel like I had to be the smartest person in the room, and particularly when I was working with mostly men. I felt like I had to always prove myself. I'm also short and blonde, and so there's a lot of perceptions around being blonde and then being short, that you're cute, you're sweet, and you're not that smart. And I see that on men's faces when I walk in the room. So I deliberately have to pace myself in terms of how much I speak. I have a rule of 3. I try to only comment or answer 3 times in a meeting. And that's an hour-long meeting. If it's, all day, I'm going to talk a little more than that. But then I guard myself and I think, is this the time? Because what I have found, if I'm quiet, the others come up with the answers. They know it. It may take them a little longer to get there. And sometimes it's the dialogue between them. It's also empowering them, especially the younger ones, letting them know that their opinion counts. And another thing I do is, we have some very strong personalities in my company. So when we're in a group meeting, and I can tell other people want to say things, they lean in, they start to talk, you can tell when they make a note. I deliberately ask them, Morgan, what did you think? Aaron, could you comment on that? And it encourages them. And then I go out of my way to say, boy, that was great, Aaron. Thank you, Morgan. And then I see them in the hallway. I say the same thing. I try to reinforce them so that, because you're right, I'm the boss, I'm the leader. So presumably I have some coinage, if you will. So not recognizing them means maybe they didn't do a good job. And I think you have to realize people are much more fragile than we realize. I happen to be pretty strong and tough because I've been in business a long time. But these young people, and I think young women and men, need the encouragement and the reinforcement. And that's a big part of what I should be doing all the time. Not talking so much, but reinforcing and enabling others.
So this idea, being a leader, and I think this, for everyone who runs their division, their organization, their company, being good at the what is one thing, but being a good leader is another set of skills and talents and things. So it's not necessarily a given.
And most people aren't trained in it. We often move up the person who's got the expertise, the engineer who really knows it, but he or she doesn't know how to manage people, or the how. How do we do it? How do you bring people along? And you have to really be thoughtful about it. I think you also need to be a lifelong learner. I know it's a little bit corny or cliche, but it's true. You need to read all the time. And Simon Sinek has some great videos about marketing and about leading. There's Jim Collins' book, which is great. I like 7 Successful Traits of a Leader. These books have been around a while, but reading these is a good way to get yourself in the frame of mind and to remind you of what you need to do. Just because I have a successful company doesn't mean I shouldn't learn. I have to be learning all the time. And I also have to be aware of my own biases. We carry a lot of unconscious bias in our lives. I notice it myself, and I have to really be thoughtful about how I respond to people, the language that I use, and be mindful of that, as I expect others to be. But reading and watching, YouTube has lots of videos, it really helps, and it's a part of the rigor of being a good leader.
Well, and I think this rigor is a valid point to explore because as you mentioned, maybe millennials and Gen Z, but all of us needing this sense of validation. But when you're at the top, when you're the boss, when you're the leader, when you're the manager or the head of a group of people, where do you get that? How do you make sure you're filled up and when everyone's looking to you for that?
Right, that's hard sometimes, and the other part of that, Jeff, is you have to come in with your game face on, even when things aren't great, or you've had a bad morning, or drank too much last night, or had an argument with your spouse, or you're concerned about something in your health. You have to try to hold some of that back and then put on a positive face. So where do you get to share that? Well, I think it's important to have a partner who is really a supportive partner. That's hard to find. In my case, I got divorced. I didn't have a supportive partner. I had someone who was threatened by me. And that wasn't good. And I didn't see it for a long time. My daughters did, my grown daughters. My one daughter said to me, Mom, if my boyfriend treated me the way Dad treats you, would you want me to be with him? And that was really it. That was knife in the back, so to speak, or the nudge to, no, I wouldn't, and you're right. But it's that proverbial frog in warm water, right? I didn't jump out of boiling water. So, I think you need to have a supportive partner, but also supportive girlfriends and men friends, and give support to them. High five, that was great. Social media gives you a great opportunity to do that now. And then I'm part of a group called the Women Presidents Organization. We share a lot with each other. We can tell, our problems and our stories and bad times and good times, and it really helps to have a group that is confidential. And I suggest everyone find a group like that, because you don't want to nag at your friends. It's good to have other business people who can really relate.
Yeah, and I feel like leaders can sometimes be very lonely. Like this idea of being lonely at the top, where do I get to turn? I have all these pressures, all these things, plus I have to be with my game face and be a positive influence for all these people.
Right.
So having these groups, making sure that you take time, I think that's super powerful. Finding a group of, whether that's friends or
a professional group. There's
professional
Vistage,
group,
there's
yeah.
YPO, there's WPO. The other thing that I think helps me is I deliberately build exercise into my life. And I think that also clears your mind in ways. I like walking, I do the treadmill, I mentioned yoga, and it just takes you outside of yourself. And then the brain research shows us too that when you're thinking about issues and you're working on a hard project, sometimes you get stuck or you feel like you've written everything. When you stop thinking about it, your brain actually processes it at a lower level. You're walking or you're doing yoga or you're meditating, you're enjoying nature, you're going for a hike, an idea will pop into your head or an inspiration and you had no idea. But you have to give your brain time for that. We often just force ourselves into this rigorous schedule, work. You've got to build in time for downtime, and it's healing yourself and healing your mind.
I think this, when we look at the goals of being productive or achieving a lot, that doing less or relaxing or giving a space that we would say, I think that's wasting time because I'm not over here,
right,
is actually
a good thing.
Accelerating.
Yes, accelerate your growth and your opportunity and your strength and capacity.
It seems counterintuitive, but everyone speaks, and now the science is really supporting that really does need to be something. So right, because as you move up the corporate ladder, your time becomes even that much more demanded.
Yes.
And so you need to be that much more vigilant.
And you need to put it in your calendar. You need to set aside time, schedule it in.
Schedule it in.
Schedule it in and be mindful and grateful for it. You'll have to give it up occasionally, but actually your employees will respect you for it. The other thing we all know is you've got to do as I say and as I behave, right? So you serve as a role model, and it's important to be able to say, it's all right to take that time. I do the same thing to your employees, to let them know it's all right.
You've brought up gratitude a couple times, and in this case, you've been at the top of the agency game for a long time, but still being able to say, I have Toyota and Hyundai in the state of California, and being able to step back into what it was like in 1998 and say, I would have never
planned I would have this level of success.
So what would be a tip for all leaders to not take for granted where they are and get that perspective that could help them move back into gratitude?
Yeah, you have to be able to, you get so built into the rush of getting things done and being productive and setting business goals and business plans that you can easily get sucked into them. I think it's important to pull yourself back. One of the things I'll do in meetings is I'll sit back and let the meeting go on without me participating and just observe the level of dialogue, the engagement, and remember, there's 8 people from Lexus who came to hear from 2 of us, in this meeting. And they're asking for more and more and more and follow up. And just let it kind of settle in. What does that mean? They really value what we're providing. And it's not just me, it's the other people in the room. My team is really performing. We just came from a meeting related to an anti-baby campaign. Got very positive remarks, and we had 7 of us there. So I saw all of my people doing a great job. I just opened and made a couple of comments and then let them take off on it. And I'm so proud of them and grateful. I think pride and gratitude go together, right? Pride in your employees. That's actually another reason to exercise your pride. Congratulations, you did a great job. I'm really proud of what you did. I can't believe we pulled that off in such a short amount of time. You guys are amazing. When you're saying that, you're actually putting gratitude back in yourself as well. So rewarding others is a good way to exercise that gratitude muscle.